Looking back, railway strike in 1974. On the morning of May 8, 1974, India woke up paralyzed. The All India Railway strike had begun. The 20-day strike by the All India Railwaymen's Federation saw over 15 lakh railway workers and employees demanding an 8-hour working day. Rail crew typically worked for many days at a stretch. The striking workers also expressed dissatisfaction over the third pay commission and demanded a higher pay scale. The scale of the strike, be it the mass participation or the brutal government retaliation, was unprecedented. From the opening year of the 20th century, railway strikes gained currency as a popular way of registering dissent against the state. The first such major strike was in May 1921 by employees of the Assam Bengal Railways. The issue at hand was not the economic demands of the rail workers. Instead, rail employees protested against the inhuman treatment of tea plantation laborers in Assam's Chandpur by the British government. The living and working conditions of the laborers from the Chota Nagpur plateau were deplorable. This strike is remembered as the first mass sympathetic strike in India. On May 28, in a mass meeting at Chittagong, wives of railway workers took off their ornaments and donated them to fund the strike. The British government tackled the situation by deploying the Gurkha Regiment. The strike lost momentum after the first month, but it brought labor issues to the forefront of the Legislative Assembly, and the press coverage pushed the government to set up labor inquiry commissions and pass remedial laws. Despite being inadequate, these legal sanctions were a symbolic victory of the working class unity. In 1927, there was a strike at the railway junction of Kharagpur. It was the culmination of a long drawn struggle of workers of Bengal Nagpur Railway, a private British company with 75% government ownership. On the morning of February 11, dissatisfaction peaked when 11,000 loco workers or rail crew stopped work. They were protesting the chief engineer's decision to transfer several of them. The strike spread like wildfire across other departments. This time, too, by way of engagement, the authorities deployed the railway auxiliary force. And at night, the force opened fire without any prior warning. More than 40 workers were seriously injured. From the floor of the assembly to newspaper editorials, The assault on unarmed workers elicited strong criticism of the government. Remember, Jallianwala Bagh had happened 8 years ago and the parallels were obvious. Eventually, railway workers at Shalimar, Tata Nagar, and Bhadrak joined in. The strike inspired many others, from Madras tramways workers to Kedarpur dock workers, and also caused quite a stir internationally. Monetary assistance poured in from Workers' International Relief London, International Transport Workers Federation Amsterdam, and other global labor organizations. This is what followed. First, a pro state union was constituted to jeopardize the workers' unity, and second, there was large scale vindictive retrenchment. The militant strikers were replaced with Europeans and Anglo Indians. On September 18, women workers took to the streets of Kharagpur carrying black flags. That the strike could continue till early December was because of the unwavering support of the All India Trade Union Congress AITUC, which ensured a steady flow of money to feed the starving workers. Ultimately, the authorities had to give in. The terms of the settlement were considered a victory for trade unions. So far as the retrenched workers were concerned, over 435 cases were to be investigated by an inquiry commission. The workers also secured their lockout period wages. Kharagpur was followed by other major railway strikes such as the Liluha Railway Workers' Strike of 1928. Throughout the 1930s and 1940s, the railwaymen struck work to protest the Japanese bombing, the 1943 famine, and even the 1946 communal riots in Bengal. Despite the ruthless quelling of 1974 strike, it tested the limits of democracy and exposed its inherent autocratic tendencies. Indira Gandhi won the battle, but 1974 was far from a failure. The Janata government reversed many a regressive policy after its takeover. Liberalization, rapid privatization, and scrapping of pensions in the railways have caused considerable working class anxiety in recent times. As associations and unions rapidly lose their relevance, looking back on the legacy of striking in India helps to restore faith in collective mass action and the resilience of democracy. Thank you for listening. This is what followed. First, a pro state union was constituted to jeopardize the workers' unity, and second, there was large scale vindictive retrenchment. Jeopardize, Jeopardize. Jeopardize means to put something such as a plan or system in danger of being harmed or damaged. The Janata government reversed many a regressive policy after its takeover. Regressive, Regressive. Regressive means returning to a previous and less advanced state. Thanks for listening.